Every year, people spend billions of dollars on chemicals to kill the plants in their gardens, sprays, weed killers, powders, all to erase the weeds growing in the cracks, the corners, the lawn. And at the very same time, the world is running out of working antibiotics. Infections that a simple pill used to cure are starting to win again. Two facts, side by side. Almost nobody puts them together, because here's the thing, the people before us understood, and we forgot. A lot of the plants we spray, pull, and throw in the bin are the same plants the early physicians of Islam treated as the pharmacy. This is a whole science. Tibb an-Nabawi, Prophetic Medicine, written down by giants like Imam Ibn al-Qayyim in his book Tibb an-Nabawi, and by Ibn Sina, the man the West called Avicenna. The companions used these plants, your own grandparents used them, not poetry, practice. Now, you've probably seen people online scream that these plants are stronger than antibiotics. So let me be straight with you, because honesty is the whole point of this channel. A weed will not cure a serious infection, and if you are truly sick, you see a doctor. The Prophet, peace be upon him himself, commanded us to seek treatment. These plants are a mercy alongside medicine, not a replacement for it. But what is true, and what almost nobody tells you, is that many of these overlooked plants carry real compounds that science has actually studied in the lab. Antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, wound healing. Our tradition pointed at them 1,400 years ago, and you've been killing them without a second thought. So today, 12 of them, counting down from 12 to 1, from impressive to genuinely remarkable. Number 1 is the seed the Prophet, peace be upon him, called a cure for every disease but death. And wait until number 3, a plant named by name in the hadith as a treatment. Bismillah. Let's begin. We start with the plant that fights back, nettle, in Arabic Qurrās, to botanists Urtica dioica. Brush against it and your skin burns and itches for an hour. So of course everyone treats it as the enemy and reaches for the gloves. But here's the twist. Dry it or cook it for 30 seconds and the sting vanishes completely. And what's left is one of the most nutrient-dense greens on earth. Iron, calcium, vitamin K, more iron than spinach. For centuries, it was the spring tonic, what people ate to rebuild their strength after a long, hard winter. In the old Unani and Greek medicine that the Muslim physicians studied and expanded, nettle was used for the joints and the blood. It's been looked at in modern research for joint comfort and seasonal allergies too. The taste once cooked is like a deeper, darker spinach, earthy, almost mineral. The Italians make soup with it. So do the Irish. I'm not telling you to go hug a nettle, but the plant fighting you the hardest was feeding the people who knew how to handle it. Now, number 11 is the opposite of nettle. So soft and so gentle that it was trusted on the skin of newborn babies. Chickweed, Stellaria media, tiny star-shaped white flowers, soft, sprawling stems, hiding in the cool, damp corners of the garden. Chickens love it. That's the name. For generations, it was the quiet remedy for angry, itchy, irritated skin, eczema, rashes, minor burns, a simple cooling poultice or wash. It's mild, it's gentle, and that gentleness is exactly why grandmothers trusted it on children and the most sensitive skin. It won't make headlines, but our tradition valued the soft, gentle remedy just as much as the powerful one. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us that gentleness is never placed in anything except that it beautifies it. Number 10 looks just as forgettable, and it carries the name of a shepherd. Shepherd's purse, Capsella bursa pastoris, named for its tiny heart-shaped seed pods, like the little pouches shepherds once carried, plain, green, easy to walk past 1,000 times. But this one had a very specific old reputation. It was the plant people reached for to help slow bleeding, minor cuts, nosebleeds, that sort of thing. Midwives and folk healers across the world kept it for exactly that. And researchers have since looked into compounds in it that may affect how blood vessels tighten. That's the theme of this whole video right there. The most ordinary looking plant in the field often hid the most specific practical use. Number 9, you've definitely seen on a roadside with a blue flower that closes by afternoon. Chicory, known in classical Arabic medicine as Hindbā, and to botanists as Sicorium intybus. Tall, wiry, with striking sky blue flowers that open in the morning and close in the afternoon. Roadsides, dry fields, completely ignored. Its roasted root has been brewed as a caffeine-free coffee for generations. In hard times, it literally replaced coffee. But it was never just a drink. Traditionally, it was valued for the liver and digestion, like its cousin, the dandelion. It's rich in a fiber called inulin that feeds the good bacteria in your gut, and gut health is one of the biggest topics in real science today. A roadside flower that quietly supports your gut and your liver. Free, ignored. Speaking of the liver, number 8 is the king of all weeds, and almost everyone gets it completely wrong. The dandelion, Taraxacum officinale, the one children blow on, the one you've declared war on every single summer, and the one herbalists across the world would call one of the most useful plants in the ground. Here's the secret most people miss. Every part is usable. The leaves, loaded with vitamins, eaten as bitter greens to wake up sluggish digestion. The root, roasted and brewed for the liver. The whole plant has a long, documented history as a gentle digestive support and a natural diuretic. It helps the body release excess water. And here's the deeper point. In old medicine, the bitterness was the medicine. Bitter stimulates the liver and the gut. We've trained ourselves to crave sweet and fear bitter, but our ancestors knew the bitter things were often the ones healing them. Number 7, most of the Muslim world doesn't pull this one out. They cook it. If you're from the Middle East, North Africa, or honestly most of the world, you know this plant, even if you've never known its name. Mallow, botanically malva, soft round leaves, small pink-purple flowers. In Arabic, Khubbazah, and in countless homes, it isn't a weed at all. It's dinner, cooked down like spinach. Mallow is full of a slippery, soothing substance called mucilage. Think of it as a natural coating for the body. Traditionally, it was used to calm a sore throat, soothe a cough, and settle an irritated stomach. That slipperiness is the medicine. It coats and calms inflamed tissue. So the plant your neighbor sprays with weed killer is the same plant grandmothers across the Ummah have been turning into healing soup for centuries. Now, number 6, this one has a name that is literally an instruction. This is plantago, plantago major. And no, not the banana you fry. In classical Arabic, it was called Lisān al-Hamal, the lamb's tongue, for the shape of its leaf. a flat little rosette of ribbed leaves with a thin seed spike standing up in the middle. It grows in nearly every lawn, every park, every roadside on the planet. You walk over it every day. Old herbalists had a name for it: nature's bandage. Crush the leaf, press it onto a cut, a scrape, an insect bite. People did this for centuries across completely separate cultures. And here's what'll surprise you. Lab research has actually found wound-soothing and antibacterial compounds in it. Names like aucubin and allantoin. That second one, allantoin, is in skin-healing creams you can buy at the pharmacy today. So this thing the whole world treats as a nuisance has been quietly helping close wounds since before pharmacies existed. Number 5 might be the biggest irony on this list. The entire world eats it as food, except us, and we spray it. Purslane, Portulaca oleracea, known in Arabic as Ar-Rijlah or al-Baqla. Little fat green leaves, reddish stem, sprawling low across the soil after summer rain. Most people rip it out on sight. But here's the irony. Purslane is one of the richest leafy sources of omega-3 fatty acids on Earth, the same family of healthy fats people pay good money for in capsules, growing for free, where you keep stepping on it. From Greece to Turkey to Mexico to the Levant, it has been eaten as food and medicine for thousands of years. In the old Arab kitchens, it was prized to cool the body, soothe the gut, and calm inflammation. And modern studies have looked at it for exactly those reasons. Eat it raw in a salad. It has a clean, faintly salty, lemony crunch like young cucumber. Or wilt it for 2 minutes with olive oil and garlic. So before you yank it out next time, wash it and eat it. The early Muslims did. From here, everything changes, because the last 4 plants weren't just used by our ancestors. They were named directly in our own tradition. Number 4, Fenugreek Hulbah, botanically Trigonella funum graecum, those little golden brown seeds from a leafy plant that grows easily and wild in warm climates. There is a well-known saying preserved in the books of Tibb an-Nabawi, Prophetic Medicine, the same literature Ibn al-Qayyim compiled, that if people truly knew what was in fenugreek, they would weigh it out and buy it with gold. And it earned that reputation. Traditionally, it was used to soothe the digestive system, support nursing mothers, and ease coughs and sore throats. That same soothing mucilage quality we just saw in mallow. Today, it's one of the most heavily studied traditional herbs in the world, examined for blood sugar and for digestion. This was never a fringe plant. Our tradition put a spotlight on it 1,400 years ago, and modern science is only now circling back. Number 3, a plant named by the prophet, peace be upon him himself by name as a treatment. Senna. Sana, botanically Senna alexandrina. The prophet, peace be upon him, is reported to have spoken of Sana as a treatment, and it's mentioned so directly in the prophetic tradition that it carries the title Sana Makki, the Senna of Makkah. Its classical use was very specific, a natural laxative to relieve constipation and gently clear out the system. And I want to be honest with you, because that's the whole point of this channel. Senna is strong. It works, but it is meant for occasional, sensible use, never daily, and not for children or in pregnancy without guidance. Even a gift named in the Sunnah comes with the wisdom of moderation, using the blessing correctly, not recklessly. That balance is itself part of the Sunnah. Now, Number 2, the single most antibiotic-like plant on this entire list, and the one the Prophet, peace be upon him, told us to use every single day, the Arak tree, Salvadora persica. From its roots and branches comes the Miswak, the natural toothstick the Prophet, peace be upon him, loved so deeply that he said, were it not too hard on his ummah, he would have ordered it before every single prayer. And here is where the tradition and the laboratory shake hands. The Miswak is not just a cleaning twig. Researchers have found it contains genuine natural antibacterial compounds that fight the bacteria behind plaque, gum disease, and bad breath. The World Health Organization itself has recognized chewing sticks like the Miswak as an effective tool for oral hygiene. Think about that carefully. Of every plant on this list, the one with the strongest real, measurable germ-fighting science behind it is the exact one the Sunnah placed in our mouths daily, 1,400 years before a microscope existed. That is not a coincidence. That is something worth sitting with. And that brings us to number 1, the one I promised you at the start. The seed described in a way no other plant in this entire video can match. Black seed, Habbatus-Sauda. Tiny matte black seeds from a delicate plant with pale flowers. And it grows so readily across the world that in many places it spreads almost like a weed. There is a famous, authentic hadith recorded in the most rigorous of our collections, in which the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that in the black seed is a healing for every disease except death. Sit with that for a moment. Of every food, every plant, every remedy mentioned in our entire tradition, this is the one given that description. And it is not tradition alone. Black seed is one of the most researched natural substances on earth. Its active compound, thymoquinone, has been studied for inflammation, for the immune system, for the lungs and breathing, and yes, in the lab, for antibacterial activity. People take the cold-pressed oil, chew the seeds, stir them into honey, sprinkle them on bread. But hear me clearly, because this is where honesty matters most. A cure for every disease is the language of barakah and trust in Allah's mercy. It is not permission to abandon the doctor when you are seriously ill. The believer ties the camel and trusts in Allah. Black seed is the crown of prophetic medicine, taken alongside the means Allah has given us, never instead of them. This is not a weed to be killed. It is a seed every Muslim should know by name. So there it is. 12 plants, the nettle that bites, the purslane you step on, the dandelion you fought every summer, the miswak with real science behind it, and the black seed, the Prophet, peace be upon him, named above them all. And here's the thought I want to leave you with, the real point of this whole video. We didn't lose these plants. They never went anywhere. They survived every chemical, every blade, every season. What we lost was the knowledge, the names, the uses, the wisdom of the people who walked this earth before us and saw in the dirt beneath their feet the mercy of a Lord who said he created nothing without purpose. The pharmacy was never hidden. We just stopped looking. So this is what I ask of you. This week, look around your home, your street, your garden. Find just one of these plants growing near you. And instead of killing it, learn its name. Then come back and tell me in the comments which one you found. I read every single one. And if this opened your eyes even a little, subscribe to Sunnah Oasis, because next I'm walking through the foods the Prophet, peace be upon him, ate to stay strong. backed by both the hadith and modern research. You will not want to miss it. May Allah grant you and your family complete shifa. Until then, take care of yourselves and take care of what's growing around you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.